Okay, so now we actually take replacements and reinforcements. So replacements and reinforcements, Viet Minh, you add ammo, deduct replacements if it's the monsoon, and then take replacements. So we add ammo first. They get 5 ammo each turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's the monsoon, you get less. If they also release their reinforcement units, you also get less. But in the beginning of the game, they get 5 each turn. And then we can spend replacement points. So we only have 1 reduced Viet Minh unit. We'll actually spend 1 replacement point to flip that to the full strength type. This commander marker goes back after the salt phase. So we spent 1 replacement point, and then we move down in the replacement track. Oh, sorry, it should go to the 9, and this goes to 89. And for every replacement you do, that division's morale goes down by 1. So this was the 308 division, and we spent 1. So only when you replenish the division do the troops lose morale. You can avoid filling up the ranks as long as no one is has a cadre marker, which is basically taking 2 steps lost. Then you have to start filling your ranks up. Okay, so now it's the segment where we deduct all the French supply, and if you can't deduct these, if you don't have enough, bad things will happen. This will not be a problem now in the beginning of the game. And then we have the French airdrop segment where they will get lots of supply. So first we deduct fuel and spares, 4 per turn. So this one goes down to 8. And you can never deduct more than the number of trucks here. If you weren't able to deduct 4, then that's called fuel shortage, and then you can only get a certain amount of ammo from the airdrops. So it's good to be able to deduct 4 per turn. Okay, so then we will deduct food. And we need to deduct 3 food per turn. It's always 3 food. This should actually be at 0, yes. We only have 9 food to begin with. And then we need to deduct 1 medicine every turn. Sometimes you have to deduct more if you have lots of wounded people. You can also deduct medicine to get 1 reduced unit. So we could have deducted even more and get 1 wounded unit back, but all of the units that took casualties were placed in the gun box. So we cannot do that. Okay, now we load up the French airplanes. You take these markers that we have here, and then you load them on, the French player loads it on this airdrop chart, and in the beginning of the game they can place it in all these zones, but as you lose, or as the Viet Minh have, so they cannot fill these areas if this number is equal to or lower than the number of trench and dig zones. Now in the beginning of the game there's only 4 trench zones, 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's not a problem. We can fill all of these slots. So this sort of represents the shrinking area where supplies could be dropped. Okay, so I think we're gonna put quite a lot of ammo here in the beginning. As ammo is going to get tough to get later when the Viet Minh will reduce the trucks. So let's just put lots of ammo right now. Of course we should also, I guess we should also get some replacements. Oh, we actually forgot to move up this reinforcement marker. So yeah, the replacements unit, if this gets through, we can flip one reduced unit. So actually, when something is moved to the gone box or the wounded box, we have 3 units currently. So we have 3 units there that have been removed, and that means that we should actually move this this HQ marker up 3 steps. As soon as it reaches this white box, then we'll roll 1 die and see if they will actually send a reinforcement battalion. And then we would have to load those onto the planes. But right now there is no need to load reinforcements. Okay, so now we have ammo there. Of course we will need some food and bullets, 3 per turn. So I guess we should at least load 3. The fuel and spares, we deduct 4 per turn. So I guess we should load 4 of those. And we'll see what goes through. Okay, so now we roll for the weather, which is this table up here, to see how many aborts we get. So this is where you lose all of the equipment that you loaded up. So 0 aborts. Oh wow! So they will actually get all of this stuff. If you roll 6, then 9 of these things will be missing in action, and you basically roll 2 dice, the black die and the white die, to see exactly which one of these you won't get. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20 ammo that we're getting. That's a lot, but we're gonna need it. So 20 ammo. Just move this up 2 steps and put these guys back. We have 1 replacement, which we can use to flip this guy to full strength. And we can also flip 1 artillery. So you flip 1 infantry and 1 artillery or tank. And this is also limited if you weren't able to deduct enough fuel, then you couldn't actually do this equipment replacement. So now we should also remember to flip that barrage marker that corresponded to that unit. Okay. 3 food and bullets. Which is here. It goes back up to 9. And we have 4. Oh wow, these are actually ×2. I thought. Okay, so these are 4 ×2 fuel and spares. So that's 8 fuel and spares. So 8 plus 8, that's 16. Plenty of fuel. Okay, so now we're gonna do we did the airdrops. Now we're gonna do the pre-assault phase, which is basically airstrike, operational movement, barrages, and tactical movement. So it's similar to the Viet Minh pre-assault phase, except you have this little airstrike segment in the beginning, and these valley moves and box combat are a little bit different that the options were for the Viet Minh. Okay, so the airstrike segment, you just place this airstrike marker on 1 Viet Minh unit. It actually has a negative -1 modifier, long range or airstrike. So we'll need to roll a 6 to get any effect from this, unless we are able to catch someone that's not entrenched. So there's no Viet Minh units that are not entrenched here, so I think we'll just take our chances and put it on one of these guys. No effect. As usual with this airstrike. Okay, so then we do the French operational move segment. And in the French operational move, so in this value move they can move 4 units, except if they all start at Dien Bien Phu in the Dien Bien Phu supply area, which is this area enclosed by this dashed line, then they can move 6 units instead of 4. And these units can basically move anywhere except into trench and dig zones, and they have to be in trench line of communication. They can even move from Isabel directly to Dien Bien Phu, except if there are Viet Minh units here or trench or dig zones here, but which I guess now that's the case, so we can't really transfer between the maps. So 4 units, I guess we could reinforce Gabriel to some extent. Let's look at that. Do we want to reinforce? So the stacking limit is 3 French units per hex. The Viet Minh can only have 1 of these units per hex because they are bigger. So I wonder, and they can't move into, not into Viet Minh zone of control, but the zone of control is negated here, so they could move into this hex, for example, because there's already a French unit there negating the zone of control from these units. So maybe we want to reinforce this strong point a little bit to postpone this assault with some nice units. Let's take these 2 8 BPC and put them like that, so they can move in through here. So they have zone of control here and here, but not in these 2 hexes. Yeah, so they can just move in there. So that's 2. So we could move 2 more units. I'm not sure that the French needs to move. I think we'll just move those 2 for now. So that's the operational move. And then we come to the French box move. They can move to, it's basically a segment where the French player can move to this box. Or if they have units in these last boxes, they can move 1 up. If these are released, and they are only released when the strong point track is 34 or less. So I don't think we'll try to recapture this. If we move in here, there will be a box combat, which can be quite bloody, so we won't do that. And now we'll have the French barrage segment, where we can actually pound these Viet Minh units with some artillery. Should we do that? We have lots of ammo, so why not? The problem is these are all entrenched, so we would have to roll. So we'll have a -1. Oh no, okay, so there's not -1. If they are not entrenched, you get +1. What we can do intense barrages. That's 2 ammo per hex. Then we can induce a step loss on a 4, 5, or 6, which I guess will do that. So let's try to reduce this regiment down. So if we can really cause some losses here, we can actually if they need to replenish, of course their morale will go down. However, that will not happen next turn. They can do all of their, they will be able to do all of their assaults before the morale goes down, because it's but on the other hand, yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna try to intense barrage this guy, intense barrage here, and why not intense barrage here? Okay, so that's 3 intense barrages. They're 2 ammo each, so we have to move this guy down 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're down to 44 ammo now. Okay, so let's conduct these barrages. Start with that one. So we have +1 because we are doing intense barrage, and they are entrenched, so we don't have any other modifier. It's not far away from one of our units. If the Viet Minh unit was reduced or had a countermarker, you would actually get the -1 modifier because it's less people there to hit. That only applies for the step loss, not for the morale. So these guys have 5 morale, so we have to roll to get a shaken result. We'll have to roll 6, or actually because of the +1 we'll have to roll 5, and for a step loss 4, 5 or 6 will do. Okay, 4, 5 or 6, so it's a step loss but no shaken marker. And this the 5, so another step loss. And the last bar, oh, and actually this was a 5, so the modified die roll is actually a 6, so they are shaken. And the last one, it's the same. Wow, okay, this was actually pretty effective. So and these you just place back in the French barrage markers area.